Nicholas, how are you? It's always nice to see you.
Doing well. Good to see you, Michael.
So, we're doing this interview on April 1st. So I have to tell you that your character Jason is exactly like Spencer Cassadine. April Fool. He is so different.
He's very different.
When did you film this?
We actually filmed the whole movie in 12 days, and then
Wow.
they edited it in 4. And it was filmed tail end of February, beginning of March. It was great. It was an amazing experience, man. It was my first time shooting something on location, which was super cool. It was my first time doing a feature comedy, which was amazing. And Jason is crazy. And you're right, he's very, very different than Spencer. But I was thinking also about in what ways he's kind of similar. You know, they're obviously very, very different, but both of them have kind of this emotional immaturity with women, which is kind of fascinating. And it's interesting how that same emotional immaturity manifests so differently in two different people in two different circumstances.
Do you really think Spencer has an emotional immaturity? Because I see you playing things where I'm so fascinated because I thought this guy's got a plan. He's thinking of something. I'm not even quite sure where he's going. You're adding so many levels to him, and Jason is kind of like, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's like I said, it manifests far differently. And
Right.
Spencer is leagues and leagues and leagues ahead of Jason, of course. But yes, Spencer is coming to realize how to best support the people in his life and who his friends are, who his foes are. He's a quick learner. But I do believe that he's acting out of the goodness of his heart. And sometimes when you act out of the goodness of your heart, there are some tactile issues that come into play there. And so I think that Spencer always wants to do the best thing and always has good intentions. But the way that he goes about handling that varies, but he's always convinced that he has the best course of action, whether or not it's true or not, he's fully convicted that this is exactly the right thing to do.
I've seen a lot of coming of age teen films over the years, going back to when I was that age, and this movie shows me and reminded me that things really don't change. When we're young adults, we get these crushes, and it's a great name for a movie because a person does end up getting crushed one way or another in at that age. Most people do. Can you talk about, like, did you find that this film will resonate with young people who might be going through similar feelings that the characters are having?
I think it will, because oftentimes people aren't who they seem. Sometimes when you meet your heroes or someone who you've looked at from a distance, you kind of form an idea of them as opposed to who they actually are. I think I've done that in my life. And certainly it's poignant in the sense that it brings a lot of social media into the picture, which I think underscores what I just said before of, like, when all you have is a picture online or a video, it's so easy to interpret that as being that entire person, and to see the like count underneath the photo as evidence that this is someone who I should be aligning myself with because everyone else wants to align themselves with that person. It's a very, very primal way of thinking, but it's absolutely what happens. And it's a dangerous trap that that people fall into, as opposed to meeting someone, getting to know them, evaluating their character. Who are they? Who am I? Can we get along? Instead, you've made radical assumptions about this person. And BB, the actress who plays Kate at one point in the movie says, if you're not willing to change every aspect about yourself to be with the person who you love, then is it really love? And that's a great line, because she's so lost in this movie, and a lot of the characters are. Really, the only one who kind of has their head on straight is her best friend, Hannah. So it's really, really interesting. And I think that people will certainly be able to connect with the circumstance of the film.
Well, yes, and the messages come across in a very humorous way. Like, the characters are fun, and I think dramatic situations can be humorous if you find the humor in them. And that's what these characters do. How much fun did you have kind of creating Jason's cluelessness? Would that be the right word? Or just seeing things in his own way? Did you bring that into the audition, and then did they say run with it? Did they pull you down? Did they ask you to do more?
They liked the idea that I brought in, which was to make him as bro-y and insufferable as possible. And because to me, one of the big jokes of the film was that all of these girls, this whole school, in fact, the whole tri-state area, I think they say at one point, is obsessed with this guy.
Yeah.
Who sucks.
Your words.
And so if I could, so I wanted to make him the worst version of himself that he could possibly be, because that was what rang as funny to me. Yeah.
Hey, I think it's a great lesson. We all cast people in our lives, in the movie of our lives, as they say, and who we want them to be. And it's kind of when we realize that A, they weren't auditioning for the part, and B, they were not really who we thought they would be. It's kind of a big moment in life, which I don't think anyone's really expecting.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. Yep. Yeah, it kind of goes into that perception isn't always reality, right? So it's important to take the time to really get to know people as they are before we start making huge changes to our life without really knowing what we're getting into.
You mentioned this movie was shot in a relatively quick period of time. Did you find working at General and in daytime, where you also work quickly, did that help prepare you for moving at a faster pace?
Yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I've now been on the show about a year. I'm coming up on the 1-year anniversary of being on GH. And I feel like in the last year, my ability to turn scripts fast has improved. Basic things like memorization, making choices. What are my actions, tactics, objectives, making character choices, justifying blocking. But yeah, we're asked to work at such fast paces at such a fast pace for GH that when they had the ambitious idea to shoot a 90-minute feature in 12 days, I was like, okay, well, I think I bring the skill set needed to help you guys out in this situation, to be a team player.
Absolutely. I enjoyed the film thoroughly, and I think a lot of other people will as well.
Oh, good. Thank you, Michael. Thanks for watching it.
No, you're very welcome. It's so easy. And thank you for your time. And I think I got it.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you so much.